This is part 2 of class 1. So if you haven't already done so, I ask that you do a warm-up before we start, and then come into this posture, a nice kneeling posture. And again, we'll just go over the alignment here. You want to make sure that your back is nice and flat. You aren't arching it, although that's one of our exercises, and you aren't bending it down backwards. One way to find out for sure if it's good to do it in a mirror sometimes, we're looking at our pelvic floor. So these muscles here, you can feel with gravity, just drop them down and then do the opposite. Pull them in and up. Again, we don't want any bulging. It's the pelvic floor coming in and up. And notice that my back doesn't move at all. And what we're going to try to do is hold that position. And you can think about it as putting on a tight pair of jeans, for example, or putting on a seat belt. There are all the different ways you can think about creating that lifting and hollowing in here, as opposed to trying to bulge it outwards. The transversus abdominis and the pelvic floor wrap around your body and hold all your muscles inside. The six-pack muscles sit on top, and those are the muscles that tend to be what people work on if they're doing pumping iron in the gym. But we want to work on the deep postural muscles that are inside, that you can hardly see, but you can feel them. Okay, so what we want to do from this position is just try to test our balance. So we're going to start with one leg just coming back on the mat. And bring it back in. And then the other side, coming out. And bring it back in. And again, we're going to really try not to rock back and forth with our hips. Just straight back. And in. And again, we're working with the breath. So breathe in to prepare. Breathe out. And coming back in. Last time at this level. Breathe out. And come back in. And the other side. Out. And come back in. Now the thing that I really like about Pilates is that all of the exercises build, so that if you aren't comfortable with the first, if you are comfortable with the first level, you can stay with that. You don't have to move on. But if you're happy to do a little bit more, then we go out and then raise up the leg. Now again, the leg just comes so that you're in a straight line all the way from the shoulder to the hip, to the knee, to the ankle. Down and in. And then on the other side, out. And we start with the point again and up, just to make sure that you're in the best alignment possible before you begin. Down and in. And again, other side, point and lift. Point and back. And again, point. This is a real challenge for your balance. And again, it's one of the best Pilates exercises that there are. And in some ways, if you just did this and nothing else, you would definitely be helping your balance, concentration, breathing, all of it. And really working on the postural muscles that often get neglected, the ones between the shoulders and the hips. We build up the tension in our shoulders and in our hips, but it's all the muscles in the middle that get lost, particularly as you get older. Okay, so now we're going to add in the arms. And again, if you're not comfortable with that, that's absolutely fine. But for those who want to, it's stretch out arm and leg, and then lift. In and down. So stretching out both. And lift, arm, and down, and out again. Again, you can do these very, very quickly, but it's actually more difficult to do them slowly and with control. So this is where I say that my approach to Pilates is more like yoga. There are people who approach it in a way that is a bit more like aerobics. So last one at this level, and up, down, and in. The other side, out, and up, down, and in. So we're going to do one last level, And again, absolutely fine if you're just using your legs. No need to bring the arms in at all. But if you really want to test your balance, again, we're going to go out, raise the arm and leg, and then just bend the knee. Straighten, out, and down. Other side, out, and up. Bend the knee, out, and down. Again, breathe to prepare, and out, up, bend the knee, out, and down. And again, breathe in to prepare, breathe out to touch, and raise, and bend, and coming down. And the other side, and up, and bend, and out, and down. Okay, again, we're just going to do a stretch to give your back a little bit of a rest. So stretching out the arms in front, breathing in, and out, and in, and out. You then bring your arms around so that they're touching your toes. This is the child's posture, again from yoga, and you can roll back and forth, just letting your hips and all the muscles around them relax. The two places that we often hold tension are in our shoulders, and they tend to get far too involved in what's happening in our lives, and they're trying to help, but they don't really. Curling up slowly, and our hips. Our hips can hold an enormous amount of tension as well. So we're going to move on into a side lying posture. And again, it's really important to start with the alignment on this. So line yourself up with the back of your mat. So your arm is straight up above your head. Your head is resting gently on top of you. Your arm, you can put a pillow in there if you want to. Your shoulders are in alignment, one on top of the other. Your hips are in alignment, your knees, and your ankles. And then put your hand out in front just to give yourself a little bit of balance. Look down at your toes, and you can bring them forward just a little bit, just to give you a bit of extra balance. It's quite difficult otherwise. So in that position, I just want you to raise your top leg. And again, just a hip height in alignment. So there's a nice straight line down the side of your body, not way up here, just a few inches above your other leg, and come down. Breathe in, breathe out to raise the leg up, and down. And again, breathing out to come up, and down. And 4. Do 5 of these all together. And 5. And down. Great. Now the next one, we're going to raise the leg and bring the bottom leg up to it. So holding that leg in place, we're going to go 1 and down, breathing in and out, and down, and 3, and down, 4, and down, and 5. Excellent. And then just bring the top leg down. The next one we're going to do is actually more of a ballet move. Développé comes in, goes straight up, and then all the way down. So in, straight up, and all the way down. And 3, up, and down. And your toe is pointed all the time in this one. And 4, up, and down. And the last one, coming in, out, and down. Great. The last one of these is, I find, sometimes the most difficult. We're quite often good at moving our muscles in all sorts of different ways, except the unexpected. So again, raise the leg up to hip height, and I just want you to bring it forward. Now this time, and again, don't let your body roll. It doesn't have to come forward very far, but then flex the foot, and then point it, and then bring it just behind the body. Again, not letting your body roll backwards or forwards, and then forward again, flex the foot, and coming back. And 3, flex the foot, and coming back. 4, flex the foot, and coming back. Last time, 5, flex the foot, and coming back. Coming back to the center, and let it come down. That's great. Just bring the top leg forward and just rub your hip a little bit. We've been using the muscles on the side of the hip, which again, don't get used very often. We do a lot of forward and back, but not a lot of side movement. So you want to roll over onto the other side, and I'm afraid we're going to do all that again. So, nice straight line with your back along the mat, one arm out, and you rest your head lightly on your arm, shoulder above shoulder, and then hip above hip, knee and ankles, all in one long line, and your hand nicely placed in front of you. Now just bring your toes forward just a little bit so that you can see them when you look down. And we're going to raise the top leg just to hip height, okay? So breathe in to prepare, and lift. And down. And lift. And down. It's amazing how easy this one seems now, right? Lift. That's number 3. And down. Breathe out to lift. And down. And last time, lift. And down. Now, if you have very bony hips, you can put a blanket or a towel underneath your hip to give you a bit of extra support. Or you can bend the mat up as well. You can do that when you're kneeling too. So don't be in pain. Make sure that you would make adjustments to make it possible for you to do it comfortably, or as comfortably as possible. We're looking for stretch and slight discomfort. We're not talking about no pain, no gain. So this time, raise the foot up to hip distance. Again, nice straight line. And we're going to bring the bottom leg up. So 1, breathe in to drop, breathe out to lift, and drop, and 3, and let it drop down, and 4, I say drop, but I want you to lower it nice and carefully, and 5, and we're coming down, so we can bring the other leg all the way down. Okay, so third exercise is the coming in, up and down. So breathe in to prepare, bring the leg in, bring it up, and all the way down. So coming in, and up, and all the way down. And third time, in, and up, point it all the time, all the way down. And fourth time, in, I don't know if you heard that, that was my hip, and up, and all the way down. I'm not in any way saying that I'm the master here. There are lots of things I can't do in this practice. And up, and all the way down. Great. And then the last one, again, this one takes a lot of concentration. It's not a big move. It's all about trying to make your mind operate muscles that it hasn't for a long time, perhaps, or maybe even ever. Again, you bring your foot up to so that your leg is in line with your hip. You're coming forward, flexing the foot, pointing, and coming just behind, just a little bit. And again, you don't want to go mad on this because you'll throw yourself out of alignment. Bend the foot, flex it, and point it, and back, and coming forward. That's number 3. And back. And coming forward. That's number 4. And back. And then number 5. Forward. And back. Great. Back to the middle and down. And again, just bring your leg forward. And we're going to give it a bit of a rub. Because again, it just releases the hip and acknowledges that you've done some work that you might not have expected. Okay, so we're going to flip on to our backs. And I want you to place your knees directly in front of your hips and your ankles, and look at your toes. Make sure that they're not turned out. They're not your heels aren't turned outwards, and you're straight. So just hold on to your knees and slowly roll down. Again, this should be a nice massage for your back. Okay, so bring your heels in. They should be just at the bottom of your hands. You should be able to just touch the bottom of your heels. And I want to do some to make sure you're in the proper alignment here. So we're just going to start with some pelvic tilts. You can put your hands underneath your back. There should be a little space there. And again, what we're going to do is make sure that we have our back in neutral spine. So just press your back onto the mat and let your hips roll forward. So they were flat, they're now coming up this way. So then release that and then actually arch your back so that your hips are now tilted towards the wall in front of you. And then coming back to the center and press down again on your hands. Back to the center. Everyone has a natural curve in their lower spine. Some people's are bigger, some people's are smaller, and really arch the other way. So you should feel that space underneath getting bigger, and come back to the center. And one last time, we're going to press in, back against the mat, release, and then press in the opposite direction. Great. Now just let your come to a nice neutral spine in the middle. Have your hips facing the ceiling above you, and put your fingertips on your hips and just move them in a couple of inches. And not the thing you want to be doing at the moment, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just cough or laugh. Ha 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 ha. You can feel those muscles just engage when you do that. And those are your the muscles around your pelvic floor, which we want to make sure are engaged. So again, just do that. Make sure that you have a nice feeling of zipping and hollowing there. And then place your hands down beside your hips. And we're just going to do a shoulder bridge. So again, should be a nice massage. You press into your heels and you do that pelvic tilt, but this time you keep going. And you raise yourself up, right up onto your shoulder blades. So again, we're looking at an alignment, which is knees, hips, shoulders. So nice line. So don't go up too high, don't overextend, just up onto your shoulder blades. And breathing out to come down. And back to a nice neutral spine. So again, we're going to do that 2 more times. Breathing out to tilt, and then press, and coming up to a nice straight line, and back down again. And again, this should massage the muscles that we were using in our middle and lower back. Breathe in, ready to go for your last time. We're going to just press and raise the body up, pressing down into the feet and into a nice line and all the way down. Great. We're going to do this again, but this time we're going to bring the arms into it. Again, we want to make sure that we're not bringing the shoulders up or inward. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out to come up, to to a nice straight line. This time when we breathe in, we're going to raise the arms up and over the head. Now, not everyone will be able to have their arms on the floor, but if you can't, just keep them as close as you can to your ears without raising your shoulders up. So then we come down. Again, nice massage on the back. And breathing in, and the arms come down. So again, we'll do that 2 more times. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out to press. Massage, press up. Vertebrae at a time. Breathing in, arms come over. And then we come down on an out breath. And in, bringing the arms over. So one last one of these. Coming in, breathing in to prepare, and out to press, and up. Arms over the head, and press down. It's like you're squeezing, laying down a set of pearls. Arms come up or over. Or somebody else talked about it as squishing a line of grapes. You're trying to be quite precise and do them one at a time. Great. Okay. I just want you to put your legs out straight now and bring your arms up above and just do a full body stretch in both directions. You can stretch one side and then the other side. We're now into our warm down, so you'll be relieved to know we're not going to do too many more exercises. We're just going to stretch out the body and make sure that we're ready for our relaxation. So from this position, we're going to raise the arms up on an in-breath, and then we're going to lean forward. And if you can, come all the way up. You can grab behind here. You can bend your knees if you need to, but come up to a nice straight position. Great. From there, I want you to breathe out and lean forward. We're not bending. We're keeping the back as straight as possible and leaning forward. Come back up to a nice sit-up, seated position, and we're going to roll back down again. So this is our second roll up, roll down, and we're going to do 3. So breathe in, breathe out, and really press from here. Don't try to move with the shoulders or the head. Up to a nice straight back position, and lean forward as you breathe out. Back to a straight position. And last time, going all the way down, nice and controlled. Arms over the head. Nice big breath there. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in to prepare. Arms up. And pulling in from here. Pressing forward. Nice straight back. And forward. And up. Excellent. Okay, so the final bit of the warm down, we're just going to go into a seated posture. And again, you can do half lotus, full lotus. I'll just do a half lotus. You can actually have your legs out in front if this is not a comfortable position at all. You can put a cushion under your bottom so that brings your hip bones forward. Whatever makes your back nice and straight. And again, thinking about long at the back of the neck, pulling from the top of the head. And I just want you to do a bend forward. Again, from the lower back, just as we were doing with the straight legs. This time just place your hands in front of you. Breathe there. And then breathe out and move a little bit farther forward. The funny thing about the out breath is that it allows you 2 different modes. One is to relax. You go, and the other one is to put pressure. So, so both of those are out breath actions. We want to move from being just a little bit forceful to being entirely relaxed. So breathe in And breathe out and see if you can come down just a little bit farther. And if you're comfortable there, you can drop the head, but make sure that the main bit of the movement is coming from your lower back rather than from your shoulders. So trying to keep the back straight. So coming up from that position, and we'll just put our hands behind and lean back and stretch. And hold it there. And come forward. Bring your hands in front. And we'll do it gradually. So hands just a little ways forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come a little bit farther forward. Moving from the lower back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Coming down a bit farther. Breathe in and all the way down. Coming back up to seated, and we're going to extend backwards. So head up, shoulders back and down. Feel your shoulder blades coming in and together and back. Breathe in and out and in and out. Excellent. Okay, we're going to just now come to the center, raise our arm up and stretch over and up and down. Other side, up and over and up and down. With stretches we tend to do just 2. Strengthening we'll do 3 to 5. But the body gets the hang of the stretch quite quickly. And down, on the other side, up and over. And make sure you're not tilting one way or the other. Try to be in line with the wall behind you. And down. And then the last one we're going to do is put your hand onto your opposite knee. Put your hand, the other arm behind you. Place your hand just behind your bottom and turn. Again, we're not using the arm as a lever, just as a guide. And you're just going as far as your body feels comfortable. This is a really good one for squeezing out all of your toxins. It's very good for the digestion. And come back to the center. And the other side. And squeeze as you turn. And back. One last time. Squeeze in the center. And back. And the other side. And just let your head go as far as it can. It doesn't have to twist all the way back. It should stay in the middle of your shoulders. The twist is coming from down here. And back to the center. Great. So that's you done the second half of your first Pilates class. I now would like you to go to the guided meditations and do any one that seems suitable for you. Okay, great.